Okay, this is going to be just hopefully a quick little video, although it probably is a bit more than quick, but for those people that are just getting an iPad, we just want to kind of quickly show off some things. So when you get your iPad, we're going to show you how to use iMovie and the YouTube app and Discord to essentially be able to have a fully functioning editing software. So for those that maybe don't know much about the iPad, it has a home button right here. So this is a home button, that's an actual button. It's got a front-facing camera right here. On the back here, you can see this is a rear-facing camera. It's got a little switch here that can be used for either muting or lock rotation. It's got this rocker here for volume. And up top here, it's got a little top button. So to actually usually turn it on, you can either press here or press the home button. So I'm just going to press the home button right now. And as you can see, it comes up. It says press home to open right down here. So I'm just going to press home again, and there you go. There's no passcode. I would recommend not putting on a passcode if possible. If you do put on a passcode and it comes back to ADMA, we will just delete it, because if we don't know the passcode, we don't know how to get access to it. In here, there's a bunch of apps that we've already pre-installed. We've got some notable ones. Here's iMovie, so to swipe back and forth, there's different pages. So here's iMovie, that's an important one. Settings is another important one right here. Here's our YouTube app, and over here, there's some other apps, little game, Alto's Adventure. We got Google Meet. We've got Microsoft Facebook Messenger, Vuba Vuba if you want to order some food. VLC is good for playing videos. This Operation Ajax is a really fun motion comic you might want to check out for entertainment. You want to do some yoga? Google Drive, Discord obviously, Facebook, Google Docs, Zoom, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. So you can check out the different apps. But for the purposes of this video, first thing is probably you're going to want to get on your network. If you go into the settings right here under settings, you'll see that right here is Wi-Fi. Now if you click on this, right now it says I'm connected, but if I wanted to connect to another network, I would just click on it. It'll ask for the password, you put in the password, and it should be able to join. So I'm already connected to the Wi-Fi, but you'll probably want to do that. I leave Bluetooth on if you want. Most of the stuff you shouldn't have to play with. For the most part, it's good, but just definitely you're going to want to get on Wi-Fi. So once you're on Wi-Fi, now you're connected to the internet. You'll see a little check mark. There's a little check mark right here. So now that we're on Wi-Fi, apps like, for instance, YouTube app, if I open it up, it should be able to connect. There you go, and it's asking me to sign in. So YouTube would like to send notifications. Sure, I'll allow that. So it's asking me, does YouTube want to send notifications? I'll hit allow. I'm going to sign in because we need to do this. So I'm going to sign in, and it's going to ask me for the account. So you can see here we're in, it's loading up. And I'm going to put in the email address. So when you usually click on a text box, this comes up. So, it's typing, you can do capitalization, you can get to special characters and letters, numbers. So I'm going to type in our email address, which is admarwanda@gmail.com, like that. And now I'm going to hit this down arrow or return. This lets me go to get rid of the keyboard. I'm going to hit next, and it's going to ask for my password. I'm going to move this away for a moment, so give me a second here. Okay, so I've put in my password, and now I'm going to hit next, and it should be now logging me into YouTube. Aha! Security. I have two-step verification on here. Give me 1 second. It's very important if you want to keep your account secure. So now that I've done that, there you go. It's letting me log in. So there we go. Now we're on YouTube, signed in as ADMA Rwanda. And now you can use the YouTube app, which for us, the most important thing is going to be connecting iMovie to this. Okay, so now we're in YouTube. Of course, if we want to get on Discord, here's the Discord app. You should have a login already. So I am going to put in my login, and so this will be the same for you. The first time you launch it, it's going to load up, and because you're going to want to have to probably do everything on Discord, YouTube, iMovie, all on this one device, which should be pretty cool. Here we go. So we're launching it for the first time. Okay, so I'm going to log in. My email was admarwanda@gmail.com. And the password, once again, I will not be showing you that. Okay, so now we should be able to just hit log in. And if everything goes well, if I remembered the password correctly, sure, send me notifications, great. So here we go, so now here's my Discord server. So now I'm on Discord, which is awesome. So we've set up that. Now, obviously I could go into Safari here and I could actually log into my Gmail account if I wanted to. The Gmail app is not on this, but obviously you can see right here, I'm already logged in. So if I go to Google Apps, I can go to Mail. And here's my mail. So you can check your email, you can go on Discord, you can go on YouTube, you can, and we're getting to iMovie, I promise, but I just want to show, how this all works together. The reason I'm not interested is because you're not going to have the ability, I don't think you have the ability to install apps on this. Okay, so let's get into iMovie. So here's iMovie. We launch it up. It's pretty straightforward, it's pretty basic. Hamim is leaving, so are you around tomorrow or? Yeah. Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. Cool. So here we go, we have a piece of footage. There's a couple things you can do. One is up here under the plus, you can see I can add video, I can add photos, I can add something from iCloud Drive, although iCloud Drive is not connected. That's for media. There's also a button here for audio. There's some pre-done theme music. So this is kind of where you're getting your stuff from. So if we want to shoot something, we go to the camera app. So I'm going to press the home button. I'm going to go to the camera app. And here we are. It would like to use location, whatever, sure, allow. So right now you're seeing a black because it's looking at the screen, but it's looking this front-facing camera right here. This is what it's using right here, is this front-facing camera. So if you can see here, if I kind of do it at an angle, you can see I'm seeing like random stuff like my hand. But if we do this, we can flip it around. So now I'm going to hit this little flip around button right here. And now you can see it's using the front-facing camera. So you can see our wonderful setup. So there's photo, there's video. So I'm going to hit video. You can do a time lapse, that's pretty cool. You can play around with those settings. If you want to check photos you've taken, there's the button right here. This takes you to photos you've taken, and then I can go back to the camera. So again, I can flip the camera around, and now it's showing the front of the camera here. So that's the front. Or I can flip it again. It shows this one, I guess back, front, you know what I mean. So I'm going to go to video like this. And I am going to, maybe you'll see my face really quickly here. There you go, there I am. You can kind of see me like this. So I'm on video. You can see I'm selected. There's a video thing here. So I'm going to hit record. And I'm just going to say, hey, this is Ryan. Looks like I need to shave and a haircut. Lockdown life. Okay, hopefully we're going to add some B-roll here. So when you hear me talking B-roll, 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 B-roll. Okay, I hit stop, so that's the stop and start button right here, so I've stopped it. Now we need to shoot some B-roll. So I'm just going to maybe keep using this front-facing camera, and maybe I'm gonna be like, hey, here's some, for you it looks a bit strange, but I'm just gonna like record. This is B-roll of the tape. This is B-roll of the tape, and then I'm gonna hit stop. Again, you can do the front-facing camera if you want. Okay, here's B-roll of the phone. So I'm going to turn this around, and here's B-roll of the phone. B-roll of the phone. Okay, so we got a couple shots of B-roll there. This is very basic. Okay, so I'm going to go back and just turn this into landscape mode here. Okay, so press the home button. If we want to see what we shot, we go to Photos, And in photos here, you can see under, there's camera roll. The camera roll is everything. Here is this shot. I can hit play. Hey, this is Ryan. Looks like I need to shave and a haircut. You know, we can hit here, we can pause it. On the side here is the volume. So this is the volume rocker right here. So I can go in and I can increase the volume. You can see that. Or an interesting thing, bonus tip, if you swipe up from the bottom, there's some brightness controls here. So there's some different settings here. But that's how you do volume, is with this rocker right here. So now it's louder. Hopefully we're going to add some B-roll here, so when you hear me talk. And we might want to do some settings here for trimming it, although you can also, of course, trim it in the actual program, iMovie. But if you want to trim it before going to iMovie, and if we click on these three buttons here, you can see we can send it to iMovie. I guess that's when you're doing it. I'm going to go into iMovie straight, though. So I'm going to cancel this. So now I'm going to go into iMovie. I got to change my orientation here. There you go. So I'm going to go into iMovie. So I'm in iMovie. And so, you know, for those who know editing, this is our kind of like browser. This is our timeline, and this is where we collect media. There's a few different buttons here. This is where we can if you want to immediately start recording something, not recording it in the camera app, but record it directly within here, you can do that. There's some settings up here. So in the timeline here, I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go and I'm going to hit delete because I don't want that. There you go. Now, if I wanted to go directly into here, I obviously could hit the camera app here, and I could do some recording. And so, you know, if I just quickly go like this, and then just, you know, hit record, and there we go, we're recording, and then I hit stop. You can see now I can like trim it, so I can trim where I want. That's the trim in. Let's see here. Can I trim it? I haven't been using it this much. I thought you could trim it. Maybe you can't trim it. Okay, you have to trim in the timeline. That's fine. So I hit use video right here, use video. You can see that it's going to, there you go. Now it's in the timeline, okay? So it's in the timeline. If I hit play, and there we go, we're recording, and then I hit stop. So you can actually go and record straight into iMovie. You don't have to use the camera app. I would use the camera app, but you know, you don't have to. So in the timeline, if you want to move around the timeline, you just take your finger, press down, and move back and forth. That's one way to get timeline. If you want to zoom the timeline, you take two fingers, and if you pinch, I guess this is not a long enough clip to pinch. So let's put in something a bit longer here. Let's just record something longer here. So I'm going to flip it again. Just say, you know, we're recording this just so, you know, I'm just trying to create a long clip so I can show you how to zoom in the timeline. So I think maybe, you know, 12 seconds is probably enough. 13, okay, stop. And then I'm going to use video. So now it's going to be put next. So now you can see, now if I take two fingers and I go like this, I can zoom in or out. So two finger pinch zooms in and out, one finger moves it around. If I select something in here, it gives me a bunch of options. You can see down here, which we'll talk about later, but you know, speed, volume, titles, filters. But I'm going to select this, and actually, you know, I haven't played around. I learned this all today, by the way. Just so you know. I'm wondering what this little button does. You can change the duration. That's a good thing to know. Okay, so you can see there's two clips here, and this little icon in the middle is representing, this little icon right here is representing the transition. So if I select the transition, it brings up some options for transitions. If I select the footage, it brings up options for the footage. So I'm going to just delete this. I'm going to select this, delete this. So the videos we've taken, let's go up here, let's hit the plus button. So I'm going to hit the plus button. Let's go into video, and you can see here recently added, so it knows what I've recently recorded. So I'm going to go to the recently added, and I'm going to look for me. So there I am. So here's me, and already you can see there's two little handles on the side here. So I can hit play. Hey, this is Ryan. Looks like I need to shave and a haircut. Lockdown life. Okay, hopefully we're going to add some B-roll here. So you can play it. You can move the edge. So you can see I can actually select the in and the out. So that's the out point. This is the in point, so I'm moving the in and the out points. So I'm going to remove, hey, this is Ryan, because you know how you guys, I don't like people introducing their names, so. Hey, this is Ryan. There you go. So I'm going to get rid of, hey, this is Ryan. I'm going to move this to there and hit play again. Looks like I need to shave and a haircut. Lockdown life. Okay, hopefully we're going to add some B-roll here. So when you hear me talking B-roll, 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 B-roll. There you go, so that's a little clip. So now, I can hit the plus button, and if I hit the plus button, it'll go straight into the timeline. So I hit the plus button, boom, it's gone straight into the timeline. Now I can move around, I can pinch, I can zoom. But there are some other interesting options. So for instance, if we go to the B-roll now, so I'm gonna go here and go to the hopefully we're gonna add some B-roll here. So hopefully we're going to add some B-roll here. So I'm going to start with, hopefully we're going to, so I'm moving this indicator. This is the indicator. Okay. Now that maybe we want to get rid of that Let's try getting rid of that Okay. And the okay. Lockdown life. So let's get rid of down life. So now if I click here, if I want to get rid of that, if I hit actions split, is there a split? There you go, right here is split. See, it says split, and I've just created that split there. Okay, hopefully. So let's get it, okay, hopefully. Okay. And now I'm going to select this and hit split again, and now I'm going to take this and I'm going to select it and delete it, and now. And a haircut, lockdown life. Hopefully we're going to add some B-roll. So we got rid of the that's cool. So now I'm going to add some B-roll right here. And the way I'm going to do that is I have the playhead here, and I'm going to go in, and this is some of the B-roll, and if I hit play. This is B-roll of the tape. So there we go. We've got some B-roll of the tape. So let's start the B-roll right there, and let's maybe end it right there. And now you'll see here, if I hit plus, it's just going to put it straight into the timeline. So if I hit plus, you see it just puts it in the timeline, but I don't want it to go in the timeline. I want it to go over top. So this is the undo button right here, undo. So let's undo that and go back and move our indicator just over top there and go back to here. And it looks like it doesn't remember your selection, which is kind of lame, but maybe not. This program is pretty old because this is an older iPad. Okay, so now instead of hitting the plus, I'm going to hit these little 3 dots. There's little 3 dots here. And you can see here, there's some interesting things. The plus for just audio, I'm assuming that means just do audio. Again, I just started learning this today. But there's some different overlay features. And this is picture in a picture. This is side by side. But this one right here, and you'll just see, it looks like, you know, one square is almost right over top. If I hit this one right here, I'm going to hit it, and you'll notice, boom, we now have a second B-roll track. And if I hit play, to shave and a haircut, lockdown life. Hopefully we're going to add some B-roll here. There you go. Now, as you know, I probably am a firm believer in you should not do your audio cut and your B-roll cut at the exact same time. So I'm going to try zooming in here, and I'm going to just move this. So if I want to move it, I click and hold, and now that I've clicked and hold, I can move it around. So again, if I let go, now, so if I want to move the timeline, I just go like this. If I want to zoom in, I pinch. If I want to move this, I click, I hold, now I can move it around. And I want to move it just before the cut. So now let's go back, let's hit play. Looks like I need to shave and a haircut, lockdown life. Hopefully we're going to add some B-roll. There you go. So now we don't have the cut of the B-roll and the A-roll happening exact same time. Let's add another thing of B-roll here. So let's go right to the end, right there on the first frame. It's a bit tricky. You have to be careful. If I have it there, it won't work. You have to be right on the first frame. You can fix it later. Okay, so there we go. We're right on the first frame, I guess right there. I guess right there. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my second piece of B-roll, which was the phone. B-roll of the phone. So there you go. So I'm going to go something like this. And something like, maybe like that. And now I've got this selected in, hit the 3 dots, do the overlay, boom, there it is, it's overlaid. Now if I want to make this longer, you know, I could make it longer by clicking on here and extending it. Obviously it's not the longest. So and now I want to move it, I click, I hold, I move it, Go to here, make it longer. Well, it looks like we're gonna have to shoot some more B-roll. Maybe I'll do this then. Let's go like this one, and there we go, recording, and then I hit stop. Okay, so let's get the hand just before my hand moves in right here. And then again, let's hit this little 3 buttons and go over top. It says your overlay is, so it says an overlay already exists at the playhead. So it's considering this an overlay. And if you see here, my playhead is slightly over this. So I need to just move it 1 over. There you go. And again, if I click on this and go overlay, now it says, so yeah, so now it doesn't like the fact that this is here because it's overlapping it. So now it won't be overlapping. So it's a little bit finicky. There's a learning curve, but it will work. So again, I go to here and I go right where my fingers are and hit 3 buttons and overlay. And there you go, it's laid it down. Now I can go back here and I can adjust this. Click on it, move it over. Now you'll notice it's not using the audio. If I click here, it's really hard to see, but there's a little sound icon that says there's no sound. So there's a sound icon with a slash through it. So it's smart enough, or maybe not smart enough, but it's designed to know like, okay, maybe you don't want audio on your B-roll. So if I do want audio on my B-roll, so you'll notice there's no audio here for this clip. If I click on it, and again, down here, you can see here's volume. Right now it's down all the way. I can increase the volume, and now that should play audio. So now this audio and this audio will play. And there we go, recording, and then I hit stop. So you see like, okay, so if you want your audio, I don't want that. Let's click back down. Okay, so now it's back down. So now we've got a little thing here where looks like I need to shave and a haircut. Lockdown life. Hopefully we're gonna add some B-roll here. So when you hear me talking B-roll, 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 B-roll. And let's get rid of that, there's that breath at the end there. Let's get rid of that breath. So I'm going to go like this, and now it should get rid of the breath. B-roll. Yeah, so now there's no breath. Okay, so now the last thing is titles. Now, if you want to do a title over top of something, if I like say, for instance, right here, click on this, and then you'll see down here there's options like speed. So under actions, there's split, detach audio, duplicate. So if I want to detach the audio, I could detach the audio, and now I can actually, I think, take this audio and move it around, which now means I'm out of sync. So obviously be careful about, looks like I need to shave it. Detaching audio, undo, detach audio. Great. There's some filters in here. I wish there was color correction, but you can only wish for so much. There's no color correction, but you know, we might be able to make it like, you know, change the different colors here, make it like blast, blockbuster. You know, they're changing the saturation and the exposure. So, you know, obviously you can play around, but I would say for the most part, blockbuster I've noticed increases the saturation, which can be nice, but for now I'm gonna get none. So there is no color correction really. You can put some filters on, but at least that I've found, I have not found any color correction other than changing some of these, you know, dreamy. That's a bit weird. So keep that in mind. And like, you know, if I want to like, oh, I want to get rid of these black bars here. No, you can't do that. Like if I'm clicking on here, you know, so it is basic, but hey, it edits. So let's put a title over top of me. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to go to titles, and then there's different ones. So there's the standard one right here, which would probably be like a lower third. So that's probably your typical lower third. You know, there's like things where you can put multiple text on for titles. So there's sound effects. That's interesting. Sound effects on and off. You can say lower or center. So, you know, play around with it. But I'm going to go here and I'm going to say what's opening. Interesting. So so I'm going to click on here and I'm going to put this is a tutorial. Now I'll say this is Ryan. Let's do that. Because we're going to do a title. This is Ryan. Okay, done. Kichikuro. Why does it know Kichikuro? That's really weird. How the hell does it know I'm in Kichikuro? It's probably location services. Jeez, that's scary. I don't think I'm going to be able to fix that right now. Come on, click. Oh, I have to, oh, okay. I have to click on there, then click on there. Interesting. Title. Oh, I think I double click on that. There we go. For some reason it knows Kichikuro. Okay, so you guys are going to have to play around with this because obviously I'm still playing around with this. But this is Ryan Kichikuro. I wonder if I change the orientation, if it gives me access to, why is it saying, this is Ryan. And yeah, you guys are going to have to play around with that. Anyway, this is Ryan Kichikuro. Yeah, works for me. You'll have to play around with that. I'm really confused by that. Okay, so let's see how this works now. Looks like I need to shave and a haircut. Lockdown life. Hopefully we're gonna add some B-roll. Interesting, now it got rid of it. Okay, so be careful about shooting portrait. Obviously, portrait landscape, you have to be careful. Now, we wanna make a graphic. So maybe we wanna go in and I'm gonna take a picture really quick. So give me a second. I'm gonna take a, or actually, yeah, let's take a picture. So give me a second. I'm gonna go take a picture and go into camera. You can't see what I'm taking a picture of, but it's basically just a picture of the equipment room. And I'm gonna go to photo and maybe I'll take a picture of Roger, yeah? Cool. There we go. Okay, so I've just taken a picture of Roger. You know, obviously these are not the greatest resolution, the greatest shutter speed. Like the sensors are pretty, you know, it is what it is. But hey, it's a fully functioning editing suite, so that's pretty cool. So that is cool. So I'm going to go out of here, go back into iMovie. Now we could have taken that picture straight in iMovie. That is something we could have done. So maybe I would get used to that. So now I'm going to go right to the front here. And you know, this isn't a full tutorial on iMovie, it's just getting up and started. I'm gonna go to Photos, I'm gonna go to All or Recently Added, and there's Roger. And we're just gonna, boom, put it down. So there you go. So now we got a picture of Roger and it's automatically moving, which is pretty interesting. And I'm sure there's probably, if I click on here, there's, you know, different, you know, Ken Burn effect where like, you can play around with these things, but there's a picture. So now I'm gonna go to titles and we're gonna say reveal. This is like, okay, so we're on reveal for this and we're gonna click again. So I clicked it twice. I'm gonna click here and it should, yeah, cool. And I'm gonna say, you know, the iMovie tutorial, if I can spell. Okay, oh my God, okay. There we go, the iMovie tutorial. Now obviously you can see here the isn't working very well. It's blending into the background, but you know, that's for you to, oh, it puts a drop shadow and an outline. That's pretty smart. So now we have that. So now I can go back to actions and hit play. And there you go, the iMovie tutorial. Looks like I need to shave and a haircut. And you know, and maybe I don't like this transition here, so let's go to, interesting, theme, what's that? Theme is, looks like I need to shave and a, that's interesting. Looks like I need to shave and a haircut. I like that. Okay, so we need some music. So let's go up to here, hit the plus button, and hit audio. And there's some built-in music, so here's some theme music. So let's try news. I love it. Obviously, there's a way to get more music onto your iPad if you have a data cable, I'm assuming, using iTunes. This tutorial will not show you that. I'm just using the theme. So I'm going to hit use. There you go. It automatically ducks the audio, so it will automatically make it quieter and louder. So here we go. Let's hit play here. Looks like I need to shave and a haircut. Lockdown life. Hopefully we're going to add some B-roll here. So when you hear me talking B-roll, 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 B-roll. And you notice it's a bit, I feel like maybe the music, maybe not the music's too loud, but this is a little bit quiet. So I can click on this clip, go to volume, and I can increase it to maybe 200%. Same with this one, click on here, increase it to 200%. And now it will be louder. So let's try that again. Click there. Oh, this lets you go through each step, by the way. I just learned that now. Interesting. Cool. So if you want to go through each step, that's what that allows you to do. Looks like I need to shave and a haircut. Lockdown life. Hopefully we're going to add some B-roll here. So when you hear me talking B-roll, 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 B-roll. Cool, there you go. Now I might be like, oh, the music kind of ends abruptly, so maybe, oh, it's not going to let me extend it, eh? I have to put, that's interesting, because it would want black. Well, if I wanted black, I could probably, you know what I could do? I could probably cover up this camera, go to here, so I'm covering it up, switch the camera, so now it's just, oh no, it's red. Wow, that's crazy. I need something that makes it black. There we go, that's black. Hit record. And I'm gonna put my end credits on here. This is a hack, by the way. I'm sure there's probably a better way to do this. Okay, so it's just a bunch of black. I'm gonna hit use video, and now it's just gonna put black at the end there. There you go, so now we got some black at the end here. I'm gonna go into here, I'm gonna go to titles, and I'm gonna put gravity. That's an interesting one for your text. And now I'm going to click on hope this helped. Done. Okay, so now we've got an end text, and I'm not going to play around with all these options, so let's go back here and see how that looks. B-roll, 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 B-roll. And you can see the text came in too soon there. So I can go back up to here, and I can probably select my B-roll here and make sure my B-roll ends before the title comes in. B-roll, B-roll, B-roll. Now it just cuts off. Last thing to check, is there action, volume, fade? Ooh, look at that. Move this. Ooh, look at that. I'm learning something. Cool. Okay, and we can even take this music and maybe even end it so it really does end, and make the fade volume fade even more. Anyway, play around with it. Now it ends too soon. So let's go back and, okay. So there you go. So we've got our video. It's a masterpiece. I'm sure I'll win an Academy Award. There's more stuff going on here. You guys got to play around with it. You know, like this is just the basics. Like I'm not even sure this is settings. So this is the filter. Oh, so there's a project filter. That's interesting. Themes, modern theme, bright theme, playful, neon. So you can play around with themes. Fade in from black, sure. Fade out to black, sure, why not? Speed changes pitch, so if you're changing the speed, it changes the pitch. I would say speed not changes pitch. That's usually what I like. Anyway, some project settings. Yeah, this is audio. So this like really shows you the audio. So I wonder if I click now in the audio mode. No, it's just showing me the audio. Anyway, you guys play around. Okay, so I'm done. I'm happy. So I go hit done. So now if we hit play, looks like I need to shave and a haircut. Lockdown life. Hopefully we're going to add some B-roll here. So when you hear me talking B-roll, 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 B-roll. Okay, obviously be careful shooting landscape and portrait. You probably always want to shoot portrait. No, landscape. Always want to shoot landscape. I don't think this is necessarily designed very well for portrait. So shoot landscape, then all your footage is landscape. It'll look a lot better. You won't have, you know, the bars on the side. So now, I don't know what all these buttons do. Okay, that just plays at full screen. Great. So we want to share now. So I'm going to hit share. And you'll notice if I hit share, there's a few different options here, and one should be YouTube app. So if I hit the YouTube app, it's going to it's going to ask me to give permission. That makes sense, right? You can't just upload to somebody's YouTube account. You need permission. So you only have to do this once. Once you do this one time, you should never have to do it again. So that's the account I want to use. So it's basically saying, can iMovie control the account, yes or no? So, interesting. Oh, I think it's because I'm logged in already. That's why it maybe let me do that. So I'm not even sure what add to theater means, but this is going to be called the iMovie. By the way, there's this little dictation button. I don't know if you see this. If I click on this and I enable dictation, now dictation is enabled. This is interesting. Hit done here. As long as you have a good, obviously you have to have an accent that it likes, but now if I hit dictation, this is the iMovie tutorial. You have to be careful about accents. Description. This tutorial is an introduction to using iMovie on the iPad, period. It also will help with the YouTube app and with Discord, period. Of course, you want to check your capitalization. Category, whatever. The size, I want to go full size. Why not? Unlisted, I want it unlisted. That's important, right? We don't want it public, because public would mean it would publish it to the ADMA YouTube channel. We don't want it private because nobody can see it. So you want it unlisted, location, doesn't matter. Okay, so now I hit share. For the purposes of speed, I might just go 720p because it'll take longer to render. So I'm going to hit share. And so it's going to export the movie. Hopefully this goes fairly quickly. Looks like it is. So we're sharing the movie through the YouTube app because I am signed in on the YouTube app and I am signed in Safari. So I think that's why it allowed me to do that right away. Sometimes you have to give it permission. So now that we're doing that, it's uploading it. Give it a second here. This is a masterpiece. How long? We're probably, what, 30 minutes in here? We'll find out. It's all good. Okay, so now it's actually uploading. So that was the render. I haven't, just to be honest, I haven't figured out how to get this as an individual movie on the iPad, as in you have to go into iMovie to play it. I'm guessing there's a way to export it to the iPad so it's a fully self-contained movie on the iPad. So far, I haven't figured out how to do that. There might be a way by using some type of app or something. I don't know. When I click the share button, I went to save video, and when I hit save video last time, nothing saved in terms of saving it to like the camera roll or something. But I'm sure there's a way in iTunes, you know, this OS is 10.3.3, and 10.3.3 I think was released, my goodness, I have no idea. We're on iOS 14 now, 15, 14 maybe? I don't know. So this is like 4 or 5 years old software, so I'm sure back then they were really big still into iTunes and videos on your iPad. Okay, so it's uploading. It's done. Publish to YouTube. Tell a friend. Not for right now. I don't want to tell anybody about that horrible project. Okay, so I'm going to click down here just to go to my app, and I'm going to go to my YouTube app. And here we are in the YouTube app. And once it launches, you can do it. So I'm going to dismiss. Don't want dark settings. So now I'm going to click on my library and my videos, or your videos. And there it is. This is the iMovie tutorial. Now it looks like it's still processing. That's fine. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to click share. And I'm going to hit copy link. So the link is copied. Great. Now I'm going to go into Discord. And in Discord, once it boots up, I should be able to paste the link. So again, I could go into here. I won't actually paste it this time because it would seem like way too much trouble to do 2 exact ones. But why not? Let's do Ryan Ewell and click on here. And I'm going to click the dictation. Here is my second masterpiece, Edit, using iMovie, featuring an amazing picture of Roger and some B-roll that will win an Academy Award. And some beer. Yeah, beer all. Because what's B-roll, right? And some beer all? Yes, definitely some beer all. Some B-roll. So obviously, you know, there's some words it doesn't recognize that will win an Academy Aurora Award. Yes, that's a new category just for me. And then period. Oh, you can do punctuation. Well, if you say the word period or exclamation mark or question mark, I'll do it. Paste. And there we go. And there it is. And if I click on this, it'll take me, take me to the YouTube app. And okay, we have to do this from the beginning. This is just amazing work here. Looks like I need to shave and a haircut. Lockdown life. Hopefully we're gonna add some B-roll here. So when you hear me talking B-roll, 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 B-roll. I just realized in the context of that video, it makes absolutely no sense. Hope that helped. Okay, so that's it. We've done everything on the iPad. We've signed up for our email, or not signed up, but logged into our email, logged into our Google account, logged into Discord, logged into the YouTube app, went into iMovie, shot all the footage, edited the footage, uploaded the footage, and even did some dictation. So hopefully that's helpful. There is some limitations in iMovie, and by no means have I shown you everything. You know, I'm sure there's some tips and tricks, but hopefully for those people that are using this over the next week and a half, maybe more, I'm actually curious. I might even play around with one for a while and really, you know, see what are the limitations and how we can really stretch iMovie to make something really interesting. And then again, you know, you've got all the different Facebook, Discord, Skype, Google Meet, Zoom, Twitter, Messenger, Telegram, Signal, Vuba if you're hungry, although you probably don't want to do that. A game, adventure, a comic, Operation Ajax, definitely check this out. Photoshop Express, I have no idea how useful that is. So these are just some apps I thought might be useful. By no means is it all the apps that would be useful for this, but it's just a start to kind of give some, you know, log in with app. Oh, you bastards, you need to log in. Okay, whatever. Oh, if you want to close an app, double click on home, These apps come up, get rid of that one, get rid of that. I can close them all now. Just get rid of all the apps. This closes the apps. You really don't need to close the apps, but if you want. There you go. Okay. Let's click on videos. Is anything in videos? No content. Okay. So if I go back to iMovie, just one last thing I want to check. If I go back to iMovie, and if I go, and we used about 11%. It was at 100%. It's at 89% now. So battery life is okay. If I click on my movie, and I click on this button, and I hit save video, and I want to save it as 1080p. So where does it export it to? Now let's cancel that, and let's just do a really low resolution version. Save video, let's do just like 360s. That should make it export much faster. So I'm wondering if it saves it to the videos, because when I tried this last time, it didn't work, so I must have done something wrong. Anyway, I'm kind of learning as I go. Just so you guys know, I learned all this, Roger, yes?
Yeah, for sure.
I learned all this like an hour ago.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm like, oh, I wonder if you can add B-roll. Okay, so it says your movie was exported to your photo library. That's interesting. Okay, so now it's in my photo library. Photos, camera roll, and I guess that's it there. There we go. I won't force you to sit through that again. Okay, so hopefully that helps. We're gonna try to get this movie onto these iPads. Now it's gonna be a big movie, so we're probably gonna have to do a lower resolution. And when you're done, you're probably gonna have to delete it, because these things, if I go to settings here and I go to general and look at the storage, so general storage, You can see there's only 7 gigs available. So these aren't huge. Like I think technically they're 16 gigs, but only usable, it's, when you add those together, it's not 16, but it's because of the OS or something. iCloud storage, no, we got to turn that stuff off. We're learning as we go here. So if I go into Apple iCloud, I got to turn some of these things off. Oh, it's already turned off. Okay, great. So yeah, so if we put this tutorial, which I was thinking, we put it on these iPads, a couple things, we're going to have to make it somewhat low resolution so that it's not a huge thing, and or we're going to have to make sure that you delete it. So if you want to delete something, obviously, if I go into my photos, and I'm not sure how we're going to get, I'm guessing it's actually going to be in videos. If you play here, my guess is it's going to be in here. And if it is in here, we might have to quickly describe how you delete it, because it's going to take up space that you're not going to want. But we'll definitely upload it to YouTube, and you'll definitely be able to play it on YouTube, and we're going to try to get it on here, but we haven't done it yet. So this is current Ryan. Future Ryan will know. So future Ryan will hopefully be in touch. Okay, guys, that's it from me. Peace out. Thanks to Roger for setting this up. And the idea was all his, so thanks to Roger for thinking, hey, maybe some people can get access to some iPads. If they were newer iPads, we could be using apps like LumaFusion or Premiere Rush. Unfortunately, because of these iPads, these are 4th generation iPads, which came out, I think, in 2014 or 2015. Because they're such old iPads, they're still, I mean, you see, it's still a fully functioning computer, which is awesome. And the fact that it still works 6-7 years later is awesome. But iOS 10.3.3 does not allow you to use Adobe Rush or LumaFusion or some of those other editing programs. But iMovie, hey, it works. You can add B-roll, you can do some basic audio editing, you can do some titles, you can trim it, you can use media, pictures, video. So for what it is, it's pretty damn cool, and you still got all these other apps as well. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you very much.